All right, so bringing down the house is Kat Gordon. Popular for launching the 3% conference, Kat Gordon has been called a triple threat entrepreneur. Named one of 2013 top women to watch, she's passionate about creating the opportunity for women in advertising and making a huge impact with 3% roadshows popping all over North America. Put your hands together for Kat Gordon.
Thank you. So the year is 1997, and I am 31 years old, and I am a senior copywriter at Hal Riney & Partners, which is an ad agency here in San Francisco. And my ad agency is invited to pitch the Saab car account. So we scramble to put together the dream team that will land us this piece of business. And the creative director, to get everybody fired up, takes headshots of everyone on the pitch team, big 8x10 glossies, and he tapes them up in the creative department beneath a banner that says, "Would you buy a car from these guys?" There are 17 members of the pitch team, and 16 of them are men. This man uses Scotch tape on every corner to hang these photos up. 4 pieces per photo, 17 photos total. This man uses 68 pieces of Scotch tape and fails to see that every image looking back at him, bar one, is a man. And he's a creative director. He is trained to notice patterns that others might miss. So guess who notices this pattern? I do. I walk past this great wall of maleness countless times per day on my way to the elevator or the ladies' room, and I'm stumped because I know that women buy cars, and I know that the Swedes are pretty progressive, and I just can't understand how Hal Riney & Partners thinks they're going to win this piece of business with this lineup of talent. And then I do what countless other women are conditioned to do. Nothing. I say nothing, I do nothing. I take this aha moment and I silence it and I stuff it away in a folder in my brain that is marked things that don't make sense to me, and I carry on. The year is 2008, and I am 42 years old. And I am the creative director of my own advertising agency in Palo Alto called Maternal Instinct. We specialize in targeting mothers and women. I spend all day thinking about female consumers. I write a business blog about it. I speak at conferences all over the country about it. And I help my clients learn how to connect with female consumers based on things I know through experience and instinct. And even with this level of immersion, I myself am amazed at how fast the landscape is shifting. Women are out-educating men. They're out-earning men. They're amassing wealth at unprecedented rates. They are driving social media usage. And they are adopting technology at rates faster than even young men. I caution my clients over and over and over to unlearn and unthink everything they assume about who they're targeting and how to talk to them. I call out gender stereotypes in advertising, including those that depict men and husbands as incapable buffoons. So with all this change that I'm witnessing around me, one thing is unchanged, and that's the ad market. Countless all-male pitch teams still pitch car accounts. Oops, hold on. Why are we going forward?
We have to change the slides over.
Oh, okay. All right, so if you can just cue me back up. Okay, so can you go back to the beginning? Okay, thanks. So countless pitch teams are still comprised of all men. Countless all-male juries still bestow the ad awards in my industry, which recognizes who's the hot talent. All of this change is happening around me, but the ad world is stagnant. So let's go back, and I'm going to ask you guys a question. Who do you recognize? Yell it out. Peggy Olson. Anyone else? The most famous woman in advertising is Peggy Olson, and she's not even real. In the Advertising Hall of Fame, there are 215 people that have been recognized, and only 16 of them are women. Only 3% of creative directors are women. That's the job I do. And what's most criminal about this is that portfolio schools are graduating equal, if not greater numbers of women than men. So unlike science and technology and engineering and math, where they're trying to get women and young girls interested, women want to work in my field, and they start out in my field, and then they lifestyle out right when they're most valuable. And we'll talk about why. How many times have you seen an ad like this? Or like this? Or like this? So does it matter that 97% of the ad messages we see spring almost entirely from a male sensibility? Yes, it matters. Here's the craziest part of all. Women, you are the target. Women drive the majority of consumer spending in this country in every single consumer category except 3. And those 3 are small categories. They're online auctions, computer hardware, and music, I believe it is. So they're not cars and electronics like you might think. $500 billion is spent every year by advertisers in an attempt to reach consumers. And women control 80% of the spending. So that's $400 billion they're wasting to not connect with you. So you would think someone would care, wouldn't you? Advertising is broken due to a failure of imagination. And I want to repeat that. Advertising is broken due to a failure of imagination. This is arguably the most creative, think out of the box, sky's the limit industry, and yet we're stuck because we can't reimagine ourselves as different than in our Sterling Cooper Draper days. But you know who can imagine a different future? Women. Here is my idea worth spreading. The future belongs to women, and we need to tell the world what we want it to look like. How many of you have read John Gazurma's book, The Athena Doctrine? I see some hands. Great book. In it, he surveyed 64,000 women and men in 13 countries, and 2/3 of them reported they felt that it would be better if men thought more like women. This is men and women, regardless of geography or culture, at great scale, overwhelmingly saying that the world's problems would be alleviated if men were a little bit more like women. So not only does the future belong to women, not only do we need to tell the world what we want it to look like, but the world wants and needs us to do so. The year is 2012, and I am 46 years old. And 15 years after my Emperor's New Clothes moment in the halls of Hal Riney, I finally speak up. I suggest a first ever conference, the 3% Conference. I research my heart out to find out the reasons why women are stalled in my field. I tap my personal network. And most importantly, I silence my inner critic that wakes me up at 3 a.m. every night saying, "Who do you think you are to challenge a $500 billion industry?" Somehow, I tune that voice out, and I invite leaders from gender research and advertising and human resources to come to San Francisco and start a national dialogue about changing this. And the world listens. And men show up. And we start to make change. And this is how change happens. And what I want to leave you with is this. I waited 15 years to speak a truth about my industry that is shameful. Please, please notice around you what's happening in your fields, whether it's government or Hollywood or science or law. Notice those faces of men all over the wall, or the way money is spent, or the way decisions are made. Notice things that don't make sense to you as a business person, as a parent, as a citizen, as a human being, and speak up about it, because the world is going to listen, and the world needs you to do so. Thank you.